Ez a Csisztu Sport Cast, az elgondolkodtató vitaműsor, ahol a sportélet nagyjait Dr. Csisztu Zsuzsa kérdezi.
Minden várakozást felülmúló őszt produkált a magyar labdarúgás, és ebben kiemelt hely jutott a Ferencváros labdarúgó csapatának, hiszen 25 esztendő után bejutott a Bajnokok Ligája főtáblájára. Szeretettel köszöntök mindenkit a Csisztu Sport Castban. Az évadzáró epizódban így karácsony előtt azért forgatunk ezen a helyen, mert mindenképpen hazai pályán szerettem volna faggatni a sikerek mögött általában csendesen meghúzódó korábbi világklasszis labdarúgót, a csapat mesterét, Sergei Rebrovot. Úgyhogy izgalmas sétára indulunk, tartsanak velem! So, Mr. Rebrov, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Actually, we are basically your guest here at the Groupama.
But I'm guest too in Groupama. Yeah.
Yes, you are at the moment. I think this is a very fine point to start our conversation today. I mean, Champions League is one of the most important stage of Ferencváros this year. So why don't we go for a little walk? So let's pretend that we are on a match day. This would be the way as you get into the stadium, basically?
Yeah, but from the other way.
From the other
this way, but
from the other side, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And actually, what time, how early would you start a preparation for that particular match that you're playing on that day? Like days before?
Yeah, I think you immediately start after the last match. You prepare, especially for the coach. For players it's different, but coach is prepared. Some part of the game is even early, but yeah, immediately after the last match what we played.
So like no free day, no day off?
Yeah, you can find yourself, you know, not all day off, definitely not full day off. Yeah,
right.
you have the part of day off. Of course, you have two kids, you're spending the time with them, but most of the time from the morning until 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the training ground and prepare.
Okay. The next very important, I would say, place of the stadium, the stage, is the locker room. So let's go in. So before the match, what is your position? Where would you be?
We just passed our position. Our position is outside.
Right there?
This is for the players, and
Okay.
our place, the coach's place is a little bit there, but of course you are preparing there by spending the time here with the players.
Okay, so basically before the match, obviously you come out from your room and you start talking to them about the tactics of that day, right?
Yeah, we are just maybe remind them something, but obviously the pre-match meeting before the match in the hotel all days before you preparing here is only about remind to the players main things what they have to do.
So the main work has to be done before you get here?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure the players is ready, but the players is obviously important to remind them because they are, if you explain them 1, 2 things, they are forget about the other things.
If, for example, you get an information that, you know, the opponent team, they changed, you know, basically, they just get on the field of match, and the field of play in a different, you know, position, then would you rechange and rethought your original ideas? How, you know, how many players?
Of course, yeah. It's always like this, especially in Hungarian league. Most of the team playing against us with one structure, with the other ones is different, and it's lots of times we are changing lots of things inside the room. We are remind the players how to play against this structure and some individual remarks, and you know this is the work, normal work. So for me this is normal, but maybe.
So this is an ongoing, unchanging sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
all the time.
Always, yeah.
Okay.
Always.
What about papers like that? I mean, those are the most important.
Please don't show this paper.
No. I'm not going to. Obviously, not the secret.
No, this is the same. Like I said, this is a remind for the players what they have to do attacking, what they have to do defensive. Because as I said, here in the change room, yeah, they are there ready. But obviously, before they come in for the pitch, they have to remind themselves what they have to do there.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere of the changing room. For example, we are in halftime, okay, and your team is leading. What would be the atmosphere of your talk, of your speech, in a halftime to them?
No, even when we are leading, I'm more stronger to the players because they have to be concentrated for the next part of the game. And when we are down, of course, they wish to coming back and they wish to score the goals, and they don't need the extra motivated. But of course, when we are up, they have to be.
This is difficult to keep up their motivation if they are up?
For me, it's not difficult. Now I know the way. I was a player. I understand my feelings when I was a player. I understood what I need in this moment. I tried to use it, my experience as a player, and of course some things what we really need to change. It's not like we are talking about motivation. No, we have to talk about the things what we have to change after first half. And doesn't matter, you winning, you are down. Doesn't matter, you have to help for the players and change something.
Mm-hmm. After the match, what is happening here? Do you still have anything to say to them after when you won or when you lost?
Yeah, of course. I think the players make some job. Even if we won or lost, we were together. And after the match, we have to be together. We have to see the eyes each other.
This is a positive atmosphere after the match all the time?
I think, of course, when we are losing some games, the atmosphere is a little bit negative inside, and I have to find the words for support the players, because anyway, they made some job. They ran loads. They worked very hard. In any case, you winning or you are losing, they worked very hard, and we have to be together in any case. Of course, sometimes you are upset. You see not the mistakes of the players. I see the players not react in the right time. That's sometimes I upset like this, but I never saw the players who has no wish to come for the stadium, to come for the supporters, and of course after the match we have to be together.
Which was I would say, the most upsetting match in your career here with Ferencváros since you're here as a coach, a head coach?
I think maybe Dynamo Zagreb when we played last year, when we lost here 4-0, and nobody didn't expect that kind of matches, because away we played 1-1 draw, and here we had some wish to win this match and go through, but after first goal something changed and the players didn't believe in themselves. For me that was most upset match for me, and I think for the team too.
Okay, and which was the most uplifting?
I think definitely last match with Molde. Yeah, that was was very hard match, and of course matches away with Celtic, home with Dynamo Zagreb, but of course last match with Molde, that was something special for everybody. Even I saw how many supporters was outside, and I'm sure the players were proud to bring this success for Hungary and for Ferencváros.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's pretend that we are before the game, and just let's get out to the gate and just see the pitch.
Okay.
Obviously, this is a very important point, the start
Most important.
The most important point.
Yeah.
Do you I'm really interested in your physical state when you're here. Does it have anything to do with, your memories as a player? Your heartbeat is always going up still as a coach, or you're a little bit more suppressed?
Yeah, I think I'm still young, and this is not up for my body. I'm sure all coaches, they are inside. Even sometimes you cannot show your feelings outside, but inside it definitely is hard feelings.
So basically, physically you have the same sort of symptoms as a player would have.
Yeah, because it's some coaches, they show in their emotions,
right.
But some of them is just killing everything inside, and you don't know what's better.
Well, you are that kind, right? That you who
yeah,
doesn't really.
I try only to show my emotions inside, but sometimes.
Why is it important? Because would it help for the opponent coaches? What you think? Do you think it's a part of your?
No, I think the team has to feel that his coach is confident, and I think on the bench you cannot run and jump in. For me, it's important to show the confidence for the players, because anyway, when I'm prepared well for the game, I always trying to be professional, and I'm confident in myself, and I try to show this for the players, because we are one team on the pitch. This is important. The players is really feeling confidence, and I trying to help them.
Absolutely. Now we are at the pitch, on the field of play, basically. What kind of atmosphere do you feel in this stadium?
Yeah, when I came here, when the stadium obviously was full, of course, this is different feelings. But now, unfortunately, but I'm glad the players understand. They have lots of supporters behind, and when they come in for the pitch, they feel in this support. And of course, there's absolutely different feelings when you're playing with supporters and without.
Right. You said something funny about the cardboard, audience.
Yeah, so obviously sometimes we are coming here for warming up, and I watching the pictures, and all pictures is very young.
I like young supporters.
I like to see all the young supporters here.
Fantastic young people here, and also about the fans. But I think this is funny, and it's very important. But if you're talking about the strength of Ferencváros's supporters and fans, do you think that this season, even in Champions League, could have been any different if it wasn't like the pandemic around and actually, you know, the stadiums could have been crowded with the fans?
I'm sure it gives more emotion for the players because we're all working and we are all playing for supporters. Without them, this is not interesting. And I'm sure the players, when they come in, they feeling behind, but it's different feelings. I'm sure if we'll be full stadiums for Champions League, they will play with more emotions. This is more motivation for the players. But
could have been this changing the final result in any match, you think?
I don't know. You know, when you play in one match with Celtic, maybe we have more chances to go through. The same maybe with Dynamo Zagreb. But I'm sure this year the players deserve to be here. Doesn't matter how many, especially game away with Celtic. That was very hard game, but we deserve this win. And even we go through. No one times we didn't get even extra time. Always we won in first 90 minutes.
Still talking about a little bit about the famous fans of Ferencváros, which I think, you know, I would say it's one of the most special even in Europe. How do you think that after these 2 seasons, these very successful seasons, even if that you are sort of a reserved personality, do they really embrace you by now?
I don't know. You know, I'm professional. I like to work. I like to help for the players, and I don't need to care about what's happening around. I think supporters. I was on press conference and in Kiev, and they asked me how is supporters in Hungary. Because in Ukraine everybody likes me. They make some different songs when I was a coach, when I was a player. But I think supporters, they have to see your work, and if your work gives results, of course they respect you. The other way. You never know what's happened with the coach.
Popularity is not as important than respect.
No, absolutely. No, yeah. I'm not even asking them for respect. I'm working for them, absolutely. They don't know my personality. I'm very professional every day. I'm trying to improve the team with the people inside the club. But results, it's very strange things. You never know. You can sleep 48 hours, 24 hours on the training ground, but you cannot get results. For me, yeah, the supporters, they like to see results. All the supporters in all clubs, they like to see results.
Right. When you're here during the match, basically, who would be from the players, from your team members, is sort of the bridge, you know, who is forwarding your information to the team?
I think the players who is closer to me.
No matter.
Because sometimes.
Not a special, not the team captain or anything like that. Whoever is the closest.
Yeah, who is closest, and through the closest players I can tell some information for the other ones. Or when it's the empty stadium, of course, this is easy to shout.
Yes,
but
when
it's full,
when it's crowd, can
no,
they
this is
actually
impossible.
Hear you?
No. Even in the middle, this is impossible.
So you basically are just, you know, you communicating with.
Or when the game stops, some injury or corner, I can call the player and give some advices.
Is there a stage between the players and the coach when sort of they understand what you want to say just by looking at your eyes?
Yeah, sometimes you can show and and for me, when they're working with me 2.5 years, most of them, they understand me even with half word, what I mean, and or when they make some mistakes and they didn't do what
I mean,
what
your
we
body
are
language
asking.
is probably.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, they understand this definitely.
Okay. Now, well, I think we should continue our conversation from a position where you never see the match, which is actually the presidential skybox. Can we go there?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So as I said, this is the position that you never are in this place during the match because you're always down there. Obviously, this is a very different point of view. When we're talking about your coaching style, you know, it can be characterized by absolute professionalism and maximalism. So if you go back a little bit in time to your childhood, I'm looking for the root of that maximalism. I've heard that you were doing ballet dancing. Is it true?
Yeah, my mom was ballet. When I was a young guy, I go for all day I was very busy. Basketball, volleyball, football, plus dancing. But dancing I made only to move from the school because, yeah.
But was it important at all? I mean, did you learn anything?
I think this is important for the players because it gives you a different kind of plastics. And when I was in Dynamo Kiev,
flexibilities and
we made some gymnastic exercises on pre-season.
You do? You do with your players?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
No, when I was a player in Dynamo Kiev. Yeah, here, of course, we are trying, but
What would that give? Because ballet, I mean, I was doing ballet with gymnastics, obviously, and I know that this is pure discipline. I mean, you really have to be flexible, you have to hold the positions hard, so it's, you know, it's very, very difficult to build that kind of character, to do that precisely. That's why it would be important for a player to do that?
There is some exercises from gymnastics. I think discipline is important without the gymnastic in football. This is definitely, they have to do it. But I mean, just for different kind of movements, because in the game you are doing lots of different movements when you are jumping, when you are fighting in duels, when you are running, when you have to fast change in direction during the running. And of course, I think in gymnastics you have to get some different kind of movements, so what you can use and help you in football.
So your flexibility, basically, with the stretchings or whatsoever, can be improved, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure with this. Maybe we are not doing lots during the season, but on pre-season, yeah, we are doing.
Fantastic. Am I correct by saying that your father is a physicist, a physician? He was right?
No, my father is radio amateur.
Radio amateur. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
I found from him this.
Okay, so that's basically the base of your interest to become a radio amateur yourself, right?
Yeah. I think it gives you opportunity to talk with the people around the world. It's very interesting, but of course people don't know what is it, what that means, but it's difficult to explain.
Just a little bit, give me some grasp of that, so I can get just a feeling of what is so exciting about, because I can understand, being born in that stage and in Hungary when we were still behind the Iron Curtain, and you wanted to have a connection with the world. I know this is coming from this kind of desire.
Yeah, this is like I'm more working in the contesting. It's like a competition, and it's the same like any other sports. You have to get more. I mean, this is contacts, more contacts with the people around the world. It comes for 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, and I like competitions. It's the same. It's like in my blood. I like to competitions here.
You're a competitor.
Yeah, definitely. And some people, radio amateur, they like to talk with each other through their antennas, their equipment, not through internet or telephone. This is different things.
Like Morse or something?
Yeah, Morse or microphone. Yeah, this is very interesting, and my dad is...
You're still active in this? You're still doing it?
Yeah.
So shall we say, or can we say that this is basically that kind of hobby that can take your mind away from football?
Yeah, it's like a hobby. Yeah, you have to completely out sometimes from your job, because you will get crazy if you're 24 hours just sitting, and the same is family helping me lots, plus of course radio amateurs. Sometimes you go in there, you're talking with the people, and you are moving from, and then after you coming back fresh. Right. After you coming back fresh and you are ready for work, I think.
So you just washed out yourself with some absolutely new interest, with some new information.
It's like you're uploading, yeah. You're uploading before the next stage. Yeah.
Great, fantastic. If we were still going back a little bit in time, I'm looking for basically the motivations of becoming, after your very successful football career, to become a good coach, and who could be or who could give the basis of that? I mean, Mr. Lobanovsky, was he someone in your life, or I would say in your coaching methods, that could be like one of the number one?
I think the motivation gives my city where I born.
Okay.
Where was lots of factories, and my way was only to improve yourself. I found my way in sports, and that was for me. This was number one in my life. Okay.
Basically, the only one chance to break out somehow.
I think it was like everything was grey around this small city, this like industrial city, and for me this was way out, because I think here is the same in Hungary. Some cities is quite grey. You don't have even chance to move from the city. This was my chance, and I'm glad that with my character I moved from there, and I get something for other people, and of course for me.
But it's not always so natural that from someone who is a fantastic and a very well-recognized player like you were, that can become a good coach. I don't think it's a natural switch. So what could be those extras that someone as a personality has to have in order to become a good coach?
I think during your football career, it's helped me. I trying to improve myself. I trying to find new connection with the people. I like always to talk. Even now, I'm not spending lots of time on internet. You cannot find me in social media. I'm not in Facebook. I'm not in nowhere because I like to talk with the people. For me, this is
in-person relations, you mean?
Yeah,
You like that?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course you are using internet. You have to use new technologies, but I'm more enjoying to talk with the people. The same in our work is important. Your intellect, how you find the way with the players, because for me it's most important not only the players who is playing first 11. Most important the other players who is not in the squad, and you have to find motivation for them. And of course for me, all the players was a successful football career. This career is helping you, but it's not the main point how to be a coach. For me, main point to develop yourself. You find the right way in which position in football you wish to stay, because after the ending your career, you have to find your way. Right. Of course, if you wish to stay in football, it's different part of football you can find. For example, a kids coach, coach, maybe analytic department, or maybe president of the club. It's lots of things or business. This is different parts. And for me, my first step after finishing career, I'm pleasure for the president of Dynamo Kiev, Mr. Surkis, who really said me, okay, you have to try, and of course you are legend of the club, and we can give you any job what you will prefer after.
Fantastic. What would be the stages of a coach's personal development? Because you said that you always want to develop yourself and sort of take steps forward. You're a very analytical person. What that analytical view comes from?
Of course, first when I finish my career, I goes to practice, to see the trainings. I go with Jurgen Klopp, I go with Guardiola, I go some trainings of Arsene Wenger when I was in England, Tottenham. It's lots of trainings and lots of successful coaches and the teams. I came for the training, I analyzed, I found my way, because first coach has to find his way, in which way he wants to develop in football, because it's lots of different model of the game, the little structure of the games. Right. And
so basically you would never follow like Jurgen Klopp's method. You'd never find, I don't know, any other ones. You have to basically synthesize all kinds of methods for your personality.
Of course your football career is helped, because during my football career I worked with lots of coaches, and sometimes you take in something from them, like you said, Lobanovsky. Of course now is an absolutely different time, different players, but some methods I think is successful even now.
Like for example, what? To build stamina, to make the players physically strong?
Yeah, from Lobanovsky, I think he's very strong person inside, and I saw, like you said, like me, he's never is shouting from the bench, but sometimes he's sitting like he's sleeping, but then in the change room, he's...
he would go like that?
And the players know if he's sitting like this, I wait something.
That doesn't mean too good.
Wait something in the change room. You have to be ready in the change room.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
all right.
It's the same.
So
different.
If someone is so quiet, that means it's going to be a big blow.
That means inside, be careful inside the change room.
Right. Okay. Something that I definitely have to acknowledge as an extra from what I can see from Ferencváros is basically how they very strongly developed physically. I mean, your team now, even if we can see the major difference, the big teams in Juventus, obviously, and Barcelona, but which was really surprising and delightful to see that the players of Ferencváros really can keep up physically at the end of the match game, basically, with their opponents, which I think this is something new in Hungarian football. Sorry to say that, but I've been following it for many decades. So was it something important for you to make your players being very strong? Their endurance had to be improved to keep up with the opposition players and the other teams? Did you actually emphasize this work as an extra?
No, obviously we have a plan for all the clubs has to work in with structure, all the coaches has to work with structure, not like today I need this one, but it has to be structure, but of course every day you can change something. You have a plan for months, for example, for pre-season we already have a plan what we're going to do, and of course in this plan you're trying to improve all part of the game, improve all the components what we need in the game, and of course for me, endurance and the strength is very important for the players. Plus, for me, it's important when you are trying to bring new players and you're looking for their conditions, how they strong, how they good in endurance, not only technical conditions. And for me, this is important. It's lots of part of football. And of course, now, unfortunately, we're playing lots of matches, and it's quite hard to improve. For example, after match, we're playing after 2 days. Next match is difficult to improve endurance or strength. But when we have a week period, of course, during this week period, we were trying to improve all things. Plus, of course, most important is understanding of the game of the players, because football is not individual game. We're playing minimum 11 players, and they have to understand each other.
Right. You said, a lot of parts has to be changed, and as you said, it's very important to get all these in the right order. When Jurgen Klopp went to Liverpool, basically he took his whole team, even his nutritionist. He wanted to take care of, what the players are eating, how they are prepared physically, also about, the physicians, how they recover quickly. Those factors are important for you, and do you really have the chance to do it at the way you would like to do it?
Yeah, of course, but that's why in football it's not only one head coach. You have assistants, you have doctors who has to follow with all these things. I'm sure maybe Jurgen Klopp has the biggest team of the coaches,
Probably.
biggest team of the doctors and the physios. But I'm sure here we're trying to create this structure, and everybody has to understand his role, and everybody has to respond for the role what he's doing. Right. Because of course we can tell from first day we have to do it, but then after we forget. I think this is important for all people who is working in the club. They have to respond for all the things what he's doing.
And they should do their job professionally as well. Okay.
We are trying to do it, yeah.
You said after basically the last game now in Kiev, finishing the Champions League, the group phase, that from especially the two matches, with Juventus and Barcelona, when you were a little bit disappointed, you said at least now for your players, they can see the level to sort of reach for the future. Obviously, if you're looking at them, coefficient of Ferencváros and the position compared to other teams, we're very far in that sense. But my question would be that your team and your players, did they sort of get to their final point of their capacity? So with this team, you basically did the utmost you can, or you think there is still a space for personal improvement for this team as it is now?
I think nobody know your maximum. I think you are a professional sportsman. You don't know what the personal can do. The same in football. I think the players now, they saw the level, they saw the space where we have to improve. But of course, this is first and most important. Do they wish to do it, and do they understand? Can they get this level? I think we can get this level only with working hard. Not only think, we are already on this level, now that's enough. For Hungarian league, that's enough. For me, this is absolutely crucial for them, and they can go down very fast. Mm-hmm. I think this is important to understand, we saw this level, and now what's next? Okay, we are in Champions League. What's our next level? What we have to do now? World Cup, to improve and to come back for Champions League, right. You have to work in hard.
Which is not so natural to do.
Maybe, of course, the players cannot get the level of Ronaldo or Messi, but the teams is...
But there are only two of them, so...
only two of them, plus, of course, the players next to them. This is important. If, for example, we played, I saw the face of Ronaldo during the match when we played away with Juve.
Right.
He was very angry because they couldn't do nothing.
Right.
And I think it's a good example for the players, and I explained them, okay, you were better with the team. Of course, they had the players maybe a different level of technically, different level of salary, much biggest different level with salary. But you were as a team, and you deserve maybe 1 point in this game. But for the next year to coming back, you have to improve yourself. At least minimum try to improve. Right. This is important.
Talking about motivation, I've heard that when you signed your contract with Ferencváros, it was very important for you to leave a space for extra benefits if you make it to the international stages of European League or Champions League, which actually happened last year and this year. Why was it so important for you to be motivated financially in that way?
I think this has to be not only with the coaches, this has to be with the players, but this is a little bit difficult with our, I can say, business football, because football is a business now, and it's quite difficult to invite the player just to pay him more when we get some success.
Right.
First player wish to be saved when he's coming, because his contract for, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 years, and he wants to be saving these years. But for coach, I think this is important. That's why I signed maybe contract with not that much salary, but I said, okay, if I get some success, okay,
then you get the bonus.
I have to get the bonus, and I'm glad that the club will agree with this, and we found solution. And I'm sure this has to be with everybody's. In football, it has to be with everybody's, because this is the plenty room to improve. If you are not improving, if you are not getting result, okay, you get something, but much less than you could get. And if you wish to get more, you have to work in very hard to get the success.
Absolutely. What about for the coming months? I mean, Ferencváros is basically leading the championships. You are heading to hopefully your third, champions title in a row, which will be really something that almost happened 100 years ago the last time. And you also have a chance to maybe to double it in the cup in the season. So how do you think that you can sort of motivate your players in the spring, in a couple of months, if you have a huge lead to the runner-up?
I think as always, it doesn't matter how many tournaments you play in. For me, it's important concurrence on each position. I think we have this concurrence now, and if players losing motivation, they know behind them is the other player who comes, and you can lose your place in first 11. I think this is important for the clubs who wish to get success. If you don't have concurrence with football, if definitely players knows that doesn't matter how they play in match, they will play the next one, the team will goes down. I think now we created this motivation for the players. We have a concurrential each position, and I'm sure, and they know if they will lose something on the pitch, for me it's very important to two things in football. Of course, understanding the game, plus your running lot, your endurance. And if you are without one is not working without the other. Absolutely. If you are not working hard, if you are not running, it's not working. The same if you are not understanding why you're running. We are not like athletics. We are not running. We have to think
without a goal, without
where we are running. Plus, of course, your technical conditions, and players understand the request for their position for them. And if they are not doing in some matches, the player behind come and he will do it.
Obviously, taking part in the Champions League group phase is very important for a club, also for get some extra resources, finances. So if we are talking in a year by now, then I'm obviously not asking for names, which would probably not be right at this very moment. But in what positions you would like to make Ferencváros stronger?
You mean players' positions?
Players' positions, yes.
I never talk about this, because if I tell something now, the player on this position say, hey, the club doesn't like me. No, I don't like to admit any players. For me, football is a collective team. Of course, inside we can talk with Tamas Hajnal about the positions, what we can improve. We are working together. But of course, for me, it's better not announce like this.
Okay, so this is something that would probably kill their motivation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only one player, the other player on this position, yes, he will lose the motivation. But anyway, they have a chance to improve. If I see the players is improving, I don't wish to let him go. For example, some players in our team even not in the squad for Champions League, but I saw their motivation in the training. They are working here very hard. But of course, some of them could be upset. Yeah, they can be upset inside, but of course not showing in the training. If you are coming for training, you have to work hard to get this place back.
Yeah, I could see that. Ferencváros had players earlier who showed their being upset, and they had to say goodbye, right? Yeah,
sometimes if you're upset or if you lose the motivation to work in this team, okay, no problem. We had some examples, like when the players wish to play from first minutes, always 90 minutes, not subs them. I said, okay, if you're thinking like this, deserve this place. Yeah. You have to work in hard, you have to deserve this place, not play because you have some name.
Right.
Football is...
That's why you said goodbye.
We're all getting older. We're all getting older, and sometimes young players come and they show in a better level, and these absolutely normal things. And
right, right. Well, you said, that you don't really like, I would say the modern way of communication, the social media, whatsoever. You like the in-person.
No, for myself, but of course
yourself.
I like the modern things
Yes,
in our life.
Yeah, but you more believe, I would say, in a personal relations, which I actually share in that sense. So when Sergei Rebrov goes home, I mean, can you leave really all the stress behind when you're at home? Can you leave it out of the door? Can you just take off this backpack?
Luckily with Ferencváros I didn't have lots of stress now. This in Dynamo Kiev was more. Maybe in Saudi Arabia was a little bit more because they're in life and people.
So this is a relaxed place here, you mean?
Relaxed place. When you're doing your work good, okay, this is relaxed. Okay. If you come in home after the winning matches, of course, don't need to stress, to somebody to help you with the stress. But sometimes, of course, even with winning matches, I feel in some players, it's like a family. I always thinking the players show they understand, but on the pitch, they losing their mind and you're thinking, why it's happening? You're talking with them, on the training he showed something. And I think this is, with the stress, is always helping my family. And like I said, sometimes I go in for radio and forget a little bit for the match. Always is better to do all things and analyze all things in the morning.
Right. Talking about your family, your dear, beautiful wife always comes out, but obviously when it's not a lockdown, and your two boys? Yeah.
She likes to come and she likes to support me, and she likes to at least to go somewhere away, at least in our difficult time. And right. My son is like Ferencváros very much. Everybody knows him, and he knows all the names, even with 5 years old.
Fantastic. And he actually, can say all those things in Hungarian, right?
Some things, because he's in Hungarian kindergarten, and he speaks English, he speaks Ukrainian,
wow.
Plus some words of... with Ferencváros, he knows all the words about the...
What about the little one, 2-year-old?
No, he's less now doing football, less interested in football, but I'm sure for the future he will see the oldest one and he will follow him.
Sharity. Think wise. Share smart. So when basically the end of this year comes, which was a very strange year in many sense, from one sense we would say, okay, let's forget about 2020. But if you look at your team and your performance, I would say this was absolutely. Yeah. So when you're going to finish at the end of the year this year, and when you're around the Christmas tree, how are you going to look back to this fall?
I'm glad that all of us, not only me, all the team of Ferencváros, for me, in that kind of circumstances, we need to help for the people. We need to help for the people with our work, with our game, because most of the people now, they are quite depressive. Some of them is losing the work. Lots of them is losing the works. And for me, football is like something new breath for them. And I'm glad that Ferencváros team and Hungarian national team, they're helping for the Hungarian people very much, because with their success in Europe, success in Champions League, I think we are helping for the people, and I'm proud with this. And I think all the players has to be proud to bring something for the people who is really upset with this situation.
Absolutely, and I think you have all the reasons to.
Sharity. Think wise. Share smart.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. Yeah. Köszönjük szépen a figyelmet. Ez volt tehát a Csisztu Sport Cast karácsonyi epizódja. Mindenkinek nagyon békés, boldog ünnepeket kívánunk, és remélem, hogy velem tartanak jövőre is. Természetesen a YouTube csatornán is megnézhetik ennek a beszélgetésnek a hosszú verzióját, és remélem, hogy a podcast felületeken is meghallgatnak minket. Köszönöm, viszontlátásra! Együttműködő partnerünk a Sharity, a Viktória Varga, az Emma Porcelán Ékszerház és a Primus Labor.